screen.
That's awesome.
And this would be so what we're doing is we're looking at using the crime data and the fire data, how to look at what makes a neighborhood safe. And we were talking about how to break down those data sets, not out of sort of like the not just, okay, let's see where all the crime is in Hartford, but when someone wants to feel safe about the neighborhood, it's important to use the right context. I like to use talking nonstop today about how awful it would be if we made an app called like Hartford Murder App, and it would just have skulls and crossbones where all of the murders happen. It would be like the scariest, saddest. Got really dark in that room for a while. So, looking at how to break the neighborhoods into, you pick a neighborhood, you can see a yearly trend about how the neighborhood has dealt with crime, and safety statistics that go on over the course of however many years the data will let us do it, whether it's 10, 5 years. And we're using trends in the neighborhood, and instead of having it broken down into a map of where all the crime is, we can use the map screen to show different types of data that had to do with where would the substation be. Show things that are maybe more focused on how safety has been improved in the neighborhood, and should sort of showcase how these crime data maps can be focused in terms of it's not just a list of all the robberies that happened. It's gives it a little bit more context in the trend that shows the violent crime robberies in a specific Hartford neighborhood have been going down, and where other people in the city, in terms of other neighborhoods, could be shown at the same time to see there's differences in the data. The population the census data in behind the rocks might reflect in this graph way differently than one of the other neighborhoods that had more of a steady trend because it didn't have the same neighborhood changing event that behind the rocks did.
Sorry, was it behind the rocks for non-Hartford people?
It was one of the neighborhoods that just had a large
Data set.
census data set put out that would reflect a specific change in the neighborhood that was in context to that neighborhood. What was it? A building was taken out?
No, actually a whole area was redeveloped.
So basically what I try to do, it's with a lot of help. There we go. Just try to create something similar to this Chicago app they had with some of the data from the Open Hartford. So in this one, they're actually showing a lot more crimes because we weren't going to be showing any of the quality of life crimes. They are actually reported, but we were trying to stick with the type 1, part 1, whatever they were called, which are really just 7 crimes, 7 categories. So we tried to do something similar to that, pulling the data. And what we ended up with was something that looks like this. Wait for it.
All right.
And all this does is show crimes. So it's like there's no is your neighborhood improving or anything. It's just crime. So basically, the way this works is it's grabbing the data off of the Data Hartford here. This is the actual raw data. We then filtered it a bunch of ways. One of the things we did is we threw out everything that wasn't going to fall into those categories. So there's a bunch of other things in here that don't. There's a lot of drug crimes and some other crimes in here that didn't, so those all kind of went away. One of the other things we did was we also filtered it so that we were getting just the data from starting November 1st. So again, when we go back, this November 1st, 2014 actually is it's to today. So if you ran this again tomorrow, you're gonna get tomorrow's data on this as well, and all these numbers would update. So this is really gonna update kind of every time you, I don't know whether somebody's updating the data set right now, so I don't know if I can do a refresh if any of these numbers are gonna change, but if somebody was, these numbers would be changing. So potentially we could put a refresh in here and it could just sit there and update, and you can see the numbers update.
Be live.
It could be a live feed, yeah. And one of the things that could be interesting that could also be changed in this is right now, again, that start date is kind of hard-coded, so it's always November 1st. We could have something where it's like a trailing 30-day thing, so you could just go to that page and you could see for the last 30 days, these are the things that are happening. What we did do is come up with tooltips so that for every one of these, if I can get them, they're really hard to get to, it actually tells you what the crime was here. So larceny in this case, it's an 06, and the 06 is considered theft. We were using some of the terms from some of the other websites, but in the code, in the data, it's actually called larceny. So one of the other things we could do is you could set it up so you could click on any one of these and come up with information, which again would be like kind of a recreation of this same information here, which could give you some more information. We are capturing neighborhoods right now. We don't have this broken down into neighborhoods.
So I wanted to do two things with this data. I saw the Seattle 911. First off, needed to make this data usable and consumable by the app. So this is the JSON feed of the same data. Probably if I were to do another iteration of this, I'd want to make the dates flexible. I just took the last couple of days for time's sake. And you can see it's all the same data I just showed you in a formatted form, but first thing the app does is it downloads this particular piece of data and then parses it. When it parses it, it does two things with it. First off, it takes it all and it creates an incident list. So the incident list is just, and this is as if it was on a iPad. So you can see they haven't gotten to entering any data for today. Say the 17th, the 18th? 17th. There's no data for today. You can see yesterday's data. And you can see, for example, motor vehicle with accident with no injuries. That was at 11 o'clock. And you can see the whole report on Buckingham. And we could do some more interesting stuff with this if we wanted to, but this was just kind of a neat way to display all of the incidents. I'd probably implement some searchability and some filters down the road, but I only had 4 hours, so I did what I could reasonably get done. But these are all the incidents in the last couple of days. And the date range is part of the original data that you request from the data source. So we could do this for a month, we could do this for longer periods of time if we wanted to. Alright, so then that's kind of and this is one of the downfalls here is there's a long list, but so in addition to the incident list, did an incident map over the last couple of days. So this shows you,
Very nice.
thank you. This shows you kind of the incidents that occurred and where they occurred. Probably the next iteration of this, I'd make these either clickable or have a mouse over that showed you kind of a detailed screen of exactly what the incident was. But again, just due to time, really couldn't do that. But I did check this against the report, and this is accurate as far as I could tell. I know Hartford kind of well, so this is pretty accurate as far as